because I tried to do a live coding for MageConf, and it was a little bit disaster because I was so chaotic. I tried to make so many things in a half hour.
So what happened? Did you just get lost, or like what happened?
I ended with open ends in my hand and nothing completed. Nothing was completed.
So you've been doing a lot of streaming, right?
I tried to be starting some streaming channel, but it's like, yeah, developing in streams is not so easy. If you want to do live coding and a live entertaining good live coding, it's like you need to jump and yeah,
Right.
yeah, there's to find a good balance between, hey, I teaching you something, and or I understand, yeah, I'm still entertaining, and holding people on my stream is, it's not the easy thing.
It's so hard. Yeah, I can't I get distracted so easily if I'm coding. So like when I see people live coding, and then they're like responding to people's chats, and then they're like actually coding at the same time and thinking and solving problems. I don't understand it at all. It's like it's impossible.
But if you take a look on Google presentations or something like that, or big presentations on big stages, they are all recorded. The video is pre-recorded,
Mhm.
and the speaker, what stands on the wall, is only speaking to the video, what runs behind him.
The speaker is only so
Uh,
it's like pre-recorded, you mean, when
yeah,
they're doing a talk? Yeah.
yeah. It's the video is pre-recorded
Hmm.
without sound, and
Hmm.
then they doing the sound live on stage. Also, if they
Right.
are doing big streams, then they make sure that's already nice recorded, and it's it's yeah, maybe I
A
need
lot
to try
easier.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier because I tried to do a live coding for MageConf,
Uh,
and it was a little bit disaster because I was so chaotic. I tried to make so many things in a half hour.
uh. So what happened? Did you just get lost, or like what happened?
I ended with uh, open ends in my hand and nothing completed. Nothing was completed.
just he just wasted an hour, a half hour. That's funny.
And not really wasting. It was like, oh, okay, the time is now already over. Okay, I need an additional half hour.
Uh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough to do the live coding. Um, so how is everything going right now in Germany and everything like that? How it's obviously a crazy time with COVID and everything. How are you feeling? You seem like you're happy overall. You seem like a pretty happy guy. What are you doing to kind of stay sane and stay productive?
Yeah, working from home is a little bit different. Like if you're working in the office, because in the office you have your colleagues and your friends, and uh, working for my company is like a family, or a big family. It's
Hmm.
like uh, you know everybody in the team well, and you're doing also stuff in the free time because we have close the mountains and go bicycle or go hiking together or doing sports together. And
Mm-hmm.
this it's a little bit hard in currently in Germany because we already in the second lockdown or in
Mm-hmm.
a smaller version of a second lockdown,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's not so easy to meet people. And if you but if you want to meet people or you need this for your energy, yeah, currently I stay home and reading books and try to be productive. Yeah, but it's not so easy.
Yeah.
Also, things like pairing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're thinking about, usually we go in a room or and doing some drawings on the wall and speaking together. Hey, how we can solve this problem together. And now it's all virtual, and you need to search or research tools for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
it's a complete different situation.
Mm-hmm. And you work at TechDivision, which is a longtime Magento focused agency solutions partner, I assume. Um, and man, a lot of software comes out of Germany. You know, like there's the Magento community. There's like shopware I've been looking at a little bit recently, commerce tools. Like you guys know how to build some software out there.
Yeah, in Germany, it's very common to develop software, and also yeah, for sure we have many developers, but from my point of view, we have to less developers because Germany is known for good quality and predictability. This
Mm-hmm.
is the main two, um, I don't know, strengths or things why you develop software in Germany, because developing in Germany software is not cheap. It's,
Mm-hmm.
it's maybe comparable with America. Is it's expensive to develop or building software in Germany, but you get a high quality thing
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
and for that reason, luckily, software development is really common in Germany and really asked in Germany. So we are not so affected by the COVID
Mm-hmm.
situation currently.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, not in the future, but let's see. Stay
Mm-hmm.
positive.
Yeah. I saw you mentioned like reading books and stuff. I saw one of your tweets. You like posted a picture of the sky outside and you were like, I just read a book on software architecture and you seemed really happy about it.
Yeah, reading books. I'm a bookworm. I try to read books very often because books are for me a good foundation, but books are not really helpful if you really want to solve real world problems, because books are most yes, try to solve a problem, or they writing down a problem, but if this problem doesn't exist or really exist in the real world, you need to find out and try it
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and try to apply the concepts from the book. And this is what one thing what is really hard. If you're reading a book and getting a new idea, like, hey, next time I doing test room development, so how I can do now test room development in the real world, it's something, it's not so easy to, you learn about a concept, but you can guess it, but you don't really understand it. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then you need to try it and apply this thing what you
Mm-hmm.
read in a book,
Mm-hmm.
and this is not so easy from for me.
Yeah, until you really apply it day to day in the work that you're doing, it's very like theoretical and it's not it's not really absorbed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What Any good books you've read recently? Anything that you've learned related to anything, software or anything in general that sticks out to you that you've learned recently?
Oh, good question. The most titles what I was reading in the last month was German. This is not
Oh,
really
okay.
helpful for the podcast, but there's a good author. They write in English, Matthias Nowak. Uh, he writes about web application design and um, some PHP things, and his books are really good. Um, also he writes about legacy, how you can develop with legacy, or how you can tame the legacy software and split it better. And yeah, common e-commerce projects from yeah, if you want to rent, it's some legacy is in all software. So, and for that, it's not bad to know about how you can deal with legacy code.
Right. What were some of the principles or ideas related to dealing with legacy code and working with it in a way that was more effective or flexible?
Mm. What he recommend is, before you change something or before you doing something, try to cover it with behavior-driven tests or with integration tests to make sure before you're starting refactoring, um, you have some coverage, and after you are done with the refactoring, you can say, hey, it works like before. This is
Mm,
what he recommends. And
mm,
also, what I find out was, don't wasting time on writing unit tests. It's not helpful. You need to test the full integration. Maybe you can mock out some things like the database or something like that, or external servers.
mm,
But yeah, it's like you need to test the full integration and get so many coverage, or many coverage as you can get before you start refactoring old legacy code and
mm,
split it in smaller pieces.
mm. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are a fan of test-driven development, unit tests. But I've seen a number of people say that recently that you really want to go for integration tests. It's sort of the most effective way to kind of test your software as a whole. Do you do a lot of that with your Magento development?
If we develop new features, we I personally try with test development, because for me it's much easier to write logic, like imports and outputs, what I should expect from the function. This is much easier for me, like developing this thing in the checkout and going 20 times in the checkout with different input parameters to find out if I have a bug in my software. This
Mm-hmm.
is this is much easier. But if I get some piece of code, and this piece of code is not covered with something, I tried to write integration tests, but yeah, I still working for a partner and agency, and time is limited. You try to cover it and getting more courage, because in Germany we also get projects from other partners, or from we take over a project, or maybe also if you're close to end a project, sometimes you skip testing for some reasons, because you need to finish the project on in 10 days, but you have only two developers because the rest of the team is sick or something like that, and then you have no change to writing tests also.
Right.
I know it sounds weird and it's a technical debt, but sometimes in projects you really doesn't have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to get things done. So you do a lot of stuff with PWA Studio. You've done some interesting work related to extension generation and things like that. And my first question is, like, a lot of people say like PWA Studio is not fully baked, or it's very difficult to work with. I hear that sometimes from people. Um, but you seem to be doing a lot of stuff with it, enjoying it, building some interesting tooling. Um, and so, what's your perspective on it right now?
Yeah, from my point of view, headless is the future of commerce. Because if you there was yesterday an announcement or 2 days ago from Google about first content FPI and CIP. The web vitals will be used for ranking, and this means we need to take care about performance, how fast our site will be rendered, etc. So, and if we take a look on a typical Magento page, it's not so easy to optimize. Also, some customers are focused on on a young target group. This means like smartphone users, tablet users, etc. And they want to have features like, hey, now push notifications. Hey, now we have 10% of everything. Go in our shop and give us 10,000 euro of your bag or something like that. And this is what more and more customer want, like interaction with the customer and getting a better custom binding and custom experience, like, hey, we ship now your package. And
Mm,
this is and nowadays commerce get more and more faster
hmm
and complexer, and
right.
er- er- everybody tries to bet everyone, like, oh, this feature is implemented in this shop, okay, we do it better because we want to get more customers and steal them the customers or something like that. So, and for that, I think headless is the future, and
hmm
we need to take a look on it. And this is PWA is a free time project for me.
Oh,
We
really?
getting some, yeah, really, we getting some requests in Germany, but PWA is it's a starting trend, and I expect next year, in the end or in the middle of next year, the hype train is rolling to the train station, and everybody will jump on. And this is why I doing this PWA work, because I try to be before the hype train, and already knowing about this topic, and knowing, hey, for which customer is PWA helpful, because selling something a customer to be selling something shiny new technology, but the customer doesn't need really the new shiny customer, the new shiny software thing, is not really helpful.
hmm That's interesting. That actually explains a lot to me about why you seem to be like enjoying it so much, because it's like a side project for you, as opposed to having client work that you have to get done and fighting with stuff that's not finished. How does your company structure that time? Is it just something you totally do in your own time, or is it something that's you're able to does TechDivision give people, like, I know Google does like the 20% projects where they give people some time to work on free projects?
We have 6.5 hours at TechDivision,
Hmm.
but we have 8 hours working days. And if we are over the 6.5 billing hours every day, we can do what we want to do. So
Cool.
if I'm faster, or if I'm not really faster, if I'm good in a day,
Hmm.
and having already 7 working hours, I can spend 1 hour for a spare project or for a Slack project, what helps the company. Also, I'm a senior and working almost over 7 years, and I'm now in the eighth year for working for TechDivision. It's a pretty long time.
Yeah.
So for that, I get 8 hours per month to handling meetings with Adobe. What usually really is really late because they are American, and yeah, meetings in America is for they are in the morning, and for us it's already 10 p.m. or something like that.
Right. That's cool. So you get time for set aside to do meetings and stuff like that. Um, that's cool, man. Well, yeah, that's great that you have the flexibility to work on some stuff. You were talking about how PWA Studio might not be a fit for certain types of customers. Have you looked at the other PWA options out there? And what types of projects do you think are a fit for PWA Studio versus, View Storefront or some of the other PWA options? Or have you mostly just
Mm.
been focusing on PWA Studio?
Yeah, we from my point, or from the agency point, we have like a vendor log, because we working with Magento and working with Adobe, and order solutions or order PWA solutions are not so good, or maybe not so good for us, because yeah, if you're using a software from a big company like Adobe, you can be sure that is supported in 5 years.
Right.
And if we use a smaller theme or a PWA solution, then maybe we get some trouble with support, or trouble with um, I don't know how we can upgrade this customer, and maybe uh, the person or the company doesn't exist anymore, and
Hmm.
so what we do with the project.
Hmm.
And this is what I already mentioned in Germany: predictability and stability. This
Right.
is like we want to be sure that the software, or the framework what we use to build the client, still exists or getting supported in 2, 3, 4 years.
Right.
Yeah, for sure, we need to invest money, or the customer needs to invest money to maybe upgrade or install new dependencies or something like that.
Hmm.
But from that reason, I know the difference between PWA and Vue storefronts, and but this is not like I think if you have a customer and you are open, uh, use what you want, what is right for the customer, and maybe shopware is a better fit for your project. But you need to decide what benefits I have from the framework, and use the right one.
Hmm.
This is And we are specialized in Magento. So if you want to go with an order framework, yeah, we do not do it.
Hmm. Yeah. So that makes sense. When it comes to extensibility of PWA Studio, this is something that I've been trying to understand how it would work for a while. I haven't worked with it myself directly, but having done regular Magento 1 development, built extensions and stuff, I've been trying to figure out how our extensions going to be built within this framework where you're not going to have like a layout XML or something like that. And what was it that you built related to extensibility? Was it a starter? Is it the generator for an extension?
I I built so many things in the last
Yeah,
month.
yeah,
Uh,
you've been doing a lot.
First, I built a Files code extension what helps or provides a set of live templates for PWA.
Mm,
This means mostly like React live templates, but specialized for PWA Studio because it's React, but it has its own taste of React. We have some special concepts in PWA Studio, what is not really common in React development, but we need this for styling or for getting something like extensibility in our framework.
mm,
Because a usual JavaScript application works like you hook in events or you hook in something what happens, and then you try to have some prevent default. This is how extensibility works in JavaScript. So, but now we are not really in JavaScript. Now we are in something like React. So, and React, yeah, is still JavaScript, but there are not so many concepts of extensibility.
mm,
You have Webpack overrides, you have Webpack aliases, what you can do on build time.
mm,
But if you understand something like an abstract syntax tree and how Bubble works and how Webpack works, you are on a compiler level, and
mm.
this is I had already fun to take a look on Bubble and how
What's
Webpack.
Bubble? Does that handle like bubbling up of events or something like that?
No, Bubble is what JSX transformed to JavaScript
Okay.
because you writing something similar to HTML, and this HTML is not really HTML, is JSX. This is what the name is of it. And this thing get transformed by Bubble. It's a big JavaScript library. You have many possibilities what you can do with Bubble, and this thing is used by Webpack.
Hmm.
And yeah, also Webpack is something what builds your JavaScript to a bundle and then ships out. So you can already guessing how complex it can be. Something to do on the abstract syntax tree, because you're getting from Bubble a tree of elements. You can go over it. You get a large tree. If you put a small component in it, you you get a huge tree of assignments, etc. It's really cool to take a look on it, how bubble transform work, but it's so complex.
Hmm.
So, and what we try in PWA is we try to do abstraction on Webpack and Bubble, what helps developers not really to take a look on how Bubble works and how Webpack work. Only needs to take a look on the Magento documentation. Hey, okay, this is how I can extend payment methods in PWA Studio.
Hmm.
This is the goal.
Hmm.
But yeah, there still a thing, because PWA Studio by definition is a framework, and Venia UI is a reference storefront. So this is what the core teams say, or what the core team publicly announce. So, and nowadays we have more and more the situation that people want something like Luma for PWA,
Mm-hmm.
like already built theme where I only need to change some colors for the customer in the best case, and this is all.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I heard from the community, what I heard from partners, and also from client perspective, because PWA is a new technology. It's nothing what exists, and it's a phrase. It's there's some definition of Google, but it every PWA or every headless solution works completely different.
Mm-hmm.
They have all different approaches. Like one came up with own middleware, and if you take a look on the market, it's so many different solutions, and all to try to be solve one problem. This is customer experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's the definition of PWA is a very lightweight definition. It's a very simple thing, but there's a lot of different frameworks and platforms that solve it in different ways. And so you mentioned the live templates. What are you drinking, by the way? Is that vodka or what is that? Apple juice? What are we drinking?
No, tea.
Oh,
It's
okay.
cold in Germany. We have currently 9 degrees or something like that.
Oh, 9 degrees Celsius. What is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's still warm out here. Last year at this time it was like close to 0 degrees Celsius, maybe 5 degrees, something like that. So but it's really warm right now. Um,
But you live in Texas or in
yes,
Austin, or
yes, it gets cold. People don't realize that. It gets cold during the winter.
really?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Not a lot, but yeah, it does. But it doesn't snow. It snows every once in a while. It's very uncommon for it to snow. Um, but it'll be just above freezing pretty frequently during the winter. Um,
Oh,
yeah, like 30, like in Fahrenheit, it'll be like 35 degrees, 37, 40, which is like in Celsius, I don't know, like 5 degrees, something like that, 4 degrees. Um,
yeah.
but anyways, so there's the live templates or the live coding for PHP Storm, right? Um,
For VS Code, I have more support currently,
mhm,
but I try to contribute these templates back to PHP Storm.
mhm,
But this is a little bit more work than VS Code, because in PHP Storm I need to write XML, and
gotcha.
I don't really like to write XML. And in VS Code, I can easily use JSON and use blank JavaScript with some encoding, and this is all.
That's it. Yeah, that's awesome. Um, and then as far as the generator that you built, what was that? It was a generator for
This
extensions.
this helps you to generate your own PWA extension,
Hmm.
because by default you can scaffold a PWA studio. Scaffold means in this case you can create a new project based on a Venia concept,
Hmm.
and Venia concept is a framework, or is PWA studio with some components, etc. But it's complete empty. There's only a server worker file and some setup files, but it's completely empty.
Mm-hmm.
And from a scaffolded project, usually you can start your own agency or your own theme, etc. And with my generator or with my generator, it's now possible to generating target extensions, because you can use a concept. We use the phrase there, target, and this is we have an intercept file what we're reading from now. We read the package JSON and check if is there an annotation like intercept, and if this exists, we using this in build time to intercepting plugins, overrides, etc. It's really similar to around plugins in Magento.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
This is the main concept behind targets. We allow to hook around some functions like custom hooks, like custom implementations, etc. Also allowing to extending ES modules. There are two or three kinds of ES types.
Mm-hmm.
ES types means ES object or ES array, and ES array is like how routes is implemented. It's the implementation detail,
Mm-hmm.
and object means like payment. Payment are objects or injected as objects. So, and what the targets allow us is to abstract the Webpack and Bubble build time thing. We already implementing a high level API for shipments, for payments, etc. Shipments is currently not implemented. It's still an idea from my created on GitHub. It's not implemented. Sorry. Um, yeah, but it's like so we want to have an easy way to extend Venia UI. This means our reference implementation
Mm-hmm.
with your own extension. Like um, the main goal is something to have a marketplace extension maybe next year that you can download from the Magento marketplace and install in your PWA Studio with with 2 lines or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is my goal, and the goal of what currently try to solve the project team,
Mm-hmm.
but it's many work.
Mm-hmm. So, like, I think I kind of understand on a high level that at build time, you're injecting like custom JavaScript or whatever around different existing function calls and stuff like that. In terms of like the markup, like if I'm imagining a store and there's a product and you want to do an extension that does like a promotion banner
Mhm.
on a product page, right? In Magento 1, standard Magento, right? You're using layout XML to inject some markup onto the product page to show that. Where is that markup getting injected in PWA Studio world?
Mm, currently, we the PWA Studio only supports one way of injecting markup. This is if you use the scaffolded project, and this is only available after the next release because this branch is merged 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
This was the last greatest thing what James was building. These things allow to listen on components. This means you can define. I have a header JS in the header.js, I have a component navigation. And after the navigation, I want to have an element of type set. This is what the new Extensibility API allows. So this thing exists, but only for scaffolding. Why? First thing, security reasons. Currently we don't want to expose too many APIs. What can used for injections, etc. Okay, injections in React are not so easy because the framework already tried to make it hard for the user to break it. But yeah, you don't want to install an extension what maybe is not good for your shop. So currently it's only available for your own scaffolded project.
Mm.
But hopefully, but this is still in discussion. This means how the core team gets feedback. This is something what the community and the listener can say. Hey, we need this also for extension because yeah, I'm part of the core team. I'm not getting paid for that. Uh, I'm really close to the product. I'm have every week 2 calls with the core team. One call is internally about roadmap and strategy, next steps, what we want to go, and which feedback we get from the community. And the second call is our public call where we we demo our progress. So I think it's on the community what they need in the daily business. What also I have the possibility from the partner perspective to develop the product somewhere. Because I think currently we still in the early phase of the product. Yeah, we already have many features, etc. But where we really want to go or where we really want to land to is currently not so easy because from me as a developer, I want to try to solve 2 problems. The first problem for me is developer experience. This means something like I really want to have something what I really like to develop every day. This is not like I don't like to write 10,000 lines XML code every day.
Right.
I really like to writing some logic and great features for the customers of us. This is what I like. So how we can get there? We need to try to make so many automatic things as possible. Means like live templates. Means like, hey, I don't want to write this thing. Let's generate it. And then the second step is customer experience. If this means like things performance, like how which features we need to get in PWA Studio to get a nice customer experience.
Yeah. What is the biggest challenge that you're facing right now? We've talked about some of the things that you've built, some of the project you've built, some of the things to get PWA Studio to the point where it needs to get when the hype train eventually gets there to the station a year from now. But just overall, whether it's PWA Studio, anything else you're working on right now, what's the biggest challenge that you're facing?
Um, yeah, the biggest challenge is currently we already knowing the commerce thing will change in the next months. but we really don't know when. And yeah, currently I are reading so many news about, hey, Next.js develops own framework for e-commerce, and this product launch a new framework, etc. So this means we try to optimize our sites for performance, and so this is currently a huge challenge for us, because also every Magento developer needs to learn a new technology,
Hmm.
because I don't know how long we will develop with PHTML in Magento. I don't know. If also, if I'm not totally wrong, the theme from Hiva theme is also developed based on React. So this means we need to learn React, or we need to learn Vue, or we need to learn Alpine JS, or whatever technology. But the future is not a PHP server what render HTML and spending all the time to deliver 10,000 resources to the customer. The future is try to be a minimal footprint from your web application as possible,
Hmm.
and this is currently a huge challenge for
Hmm.
me.
Hmm. Do you think like for a lot of, I hear a lot of developers say that, like let's say take a typical, PHP backend developer, and all of a sudden now you're having to learn all sorts of JavaScript frameworks and tools and concepts, and kind of working totally differently. A lot of people are like, man, this is too much. It's too different. Everybody has to learn too much of the stack. Do you feel that? But you seem to be getting into it. I mean, you seem to be enjoying it, building a lot of tools to help you be more effective and efficient. Do you think that development today is too complicated, or it's just a new challenge to a new opportunity to learn?
Hmm. Yeah, it's behaves on maybe it's based on your person, because if you want to learn a new technology and stay with yeah, maybe you can develop PHP HTML application still in 20 years, maybe. I don't know. I don't have something where I can take a look what happens in 20 years in software development. So, and I'm not so old. So, which possibilities I have? Okay, I can switch the company. I can switch the technology. Try to be PHP focused, but this is not from in my experience is not really helpful, because if every time if I starting with a new programming language or with a new concept, I getting more and more familiar with, hey, why I should take care about software development concepts, and the concepts of, yeah, of every program language is might be different, but still you can apply basic concepts in almost every language. And it's not you starting not with nothing, you starting with already a working kit of great tools, but now you need to use them differently.
Hmm.
It's like you have a hammer and I don't know, something else in your baggage, and then maybe you need to have using the hammer a little bit different.
You got to
But
juggle hammers or something. Yeah. Yeah.
or you need to came up with a totally new concept. This is
Mm.
but from my point of view, it's like I want to learn new technologies. I try to be uh, before the hype train. I try to be not be outdated, because yeah, for sure you can still develop a cobalt application. Cobalt is a really old finance software, and maybe cobalt will exist in 20 years, and this person get in Germany the double or triple amount of money every month as me, but it's pain.
Yeah. You know what's funny is like there's a huge demand for COBOL developers. I read a story about it recently because a lot of them are so old that they're starting to pass away and stuff like that. And none of the younger people know COBOL. So there's this huge, and there's all of this financial infrastructure around it that's so critical and that isn't going to change anytime soon. It's not going to JavaScript anytime soon. So there's this like huge demand for COBOL developers. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, no, I see what you're saying there. You mentioned Next.js Commerce. What did you think about that?
Mm, I take a look on it, and as I understand, they want to have different adapters for different systems, and currently um, yeah, it's not really cool, uh, because it's, yeah, maybe I need to rephrase it. It's not a real product. It's something what they develop, and yeah, it's a working case or something like that, a MVP, but it's not a really cool, awesome product where you can change already the adapter. But the future, what I understand from them is they want to have a proxy layer for BigCommerce, and then you can change the proxy layer to Magento, and using Next.js for to consuming Magento data. And this is really cool, because from my point of view, is Next.js a really cool framework. It's they having so many concepts what is different to PWA Studio and other PWA solutions, and also they are already very common in for content pages.
Hmm.
So, and for that, this is interesting for the future. Currently, it's not so easy to change one component in big in Next Commerce. I don't know what is the real name. Next Commerce, Big Commerce,
Next.js Commerce, I think.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's mostly like it seems like it's mostly like front end components with that tie into like BigCommerce. But you're saying as far as how exactly it's gonna tie into back end e-commerce systems is not very well defined currently.
Yeah, currently it's really coupled to Big Commerce. I take a look on how they fetching data, and they having currently uh, not replaceable paths or not replaceable data fetching endpoints.
Mm,
But on their website, I see there should be a different headless solution what you can use with it.
hmm.
But I think BigCommerce paid them to build this thing, and yeah, it makes totally sense. But it's much less than what PWA Studio currently have, and
Hmm.
also what every PWA solution have on the market.
Hmm.
If I want to guess, I think they invest a month or something like that to develop this. I don't know. It's a prototype. It's
Gotcha. Yeah, it's not too much more than a prototype, maybe. Um, I've seen so I know you're a Magento maintainer, right, on the core team, and I've seen some complaints from people about important bugs not being merged, things like that. I remember seeing a post from Jacob Winkler recently on it, and I think that like I love what Magento has done with like bringing people like you in to be maintainers and to have ownership. But I'm curious, and I'm guessing you're probably involved only on the PWA Studio side of things, so you might not be involved with these other issues. But what do you think about that? Why? What do you think about these issues?
yeah. I think what many people forget about before they starting ranting about Magento is they have an internal and external team, and developing pull request with courage, what what is really good for a product is not so easy, and also it's time consuming. We I have the same, because maybe we found a bug in a project, and I can provide a patch that fixed the main problem for the customer, the root cause. But this is maybe not really helpful for the framework, because there are so many things what you need to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a really hard situation. Also, commerce is not so easy, and every framework has problems, and every framework has maybe lags. And I know more and more people starting ranting about Magento and or mm, but yeah, from my point of view, it's if they want to rate, they can. Don't feed the trolls. Don't feed. Don't. I really try to be focused or positive and try to change the system. Try to be helpful for the product,
Mm.
because we need to know about, hey, this product we use every day. This is what we sell to our customers. And if I tweeting about a product, what I try to sell to a customer, or what I want to sell to a customer, maybe I should switch to a different product, or think about what I want to do with my current situation.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I think that's what people are ultimately doing is switching. And I don't know if I would use the word troll, because when you think of troll, it's usually somebody who's anonymous, who's not really investing anything personally in the situation. Like these are people that have their entire career worked in the platform, have put a lot of work into putting out specific pull requests. They've tried to put in the work to get it fixed, and then there's things that they feel should be obvious. I see what you're saying, that just because something might seem obvious to one person as a fix might not make sense for the platform, and that can be a complicated problem to solve. Um, but I guess you're right. I mean, ultimately, I think if it's not working for someone, they're going to have to move to another platform if they're not able to get things, fixed that they need.
Yeah, or also thinking about communication, because if I try to be positive and try to be writing the right person, or writing the issue on GitHub, and ping the maintainers team in general, or hey, ping me or different person on GitHub or on Slack, is like, Oh, okay. I also currently I don't take a look on Magento 2 issues because I move completely as maintainer to PWA.
Right.
The main point for me is focus. I don't want to play in 10 projects. I
Right.
want to be focused on the future, or want to be focused on one thing, not 10 things. And
Right.
this is why I cannot really measure or take a look on, hey, if things not get merged.
Hmm.
But I think the main reason why things not get merged is missing coverage, don't work for the framework,
Hmm.
works only for this specific customer with this specific test cases. I already had the pleasure to doing some test plans for Adobe, and if you get a regression list with some feature tests, because there was some opportunity to work for Adobe. Um, so I know how complex and how complex it is to develop a product.
Hmm.
It's a complete different vision, like agency work, because your product needs to work for, I don't know, 20,000, 40,000 integrators on the world. I don't know how many people are using Magento every day, to be honest. So, and this is why things usually not get merged.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's complicated problem to solve with so many people, such a large community, and a piece of software that's designed for custom customization and extensibility. So last question. You started a YouTube channel. How's that going? How are you liking that?
Oh yeah, yeah. YouTube is for me a little bit different, because try to be focused on doing streams or doing capturings every week are also a big challenge for me, is getting topics. I treat, I don't know, one times per month to get new topics and new ideas for videos,
Mhm.
and I will do them, but I know nobody responds with ideas, or
No.
only I get one or two ideas what I can do, and
Yeah.
this is like, because I don't want boring people. I don't I and I'm not pretty sure if I produce a video, it's really helpful or not. So this is why I asking about, hey, you have a topic, send it to me, and I try to produce a short video helpful as possible for you
Hmm.
to solve this thing. And this is, yeah, I don't know how other people it does, like doing YouTube. I already check out many technical channels, and they starts with foundation,
Hmm.
but I don't should start the 10,000 channel based on React. I should also not start the 20,000 channel on JavaScript,
Uh-huh.
because if you search for YouTube videos for JavaScript and React, you find hundred thousands of videos.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to produce something what maybe only 10 people will see.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough medium to kind of figure out. And there's so much out there, on YouTube already, that it's hard to know, what to make that's unique. But I think if you're having fun with it, that's probably the important part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Teaching, learning, teaching.
yeah.
This is a thing what really helps, because I heading or doing a workshop internally for TechDivision
Hmm.
about GraphQL, how you can build your own endpoints and how you can extend existing endpoints in
Hmm.
Magento. So, and this workshop, I split it in, I don't know, 5 or 4 videos and put it on YouTube.
Hmm.
And now I need to capture the basic GraphQL thing from the workshop, and then I have like a free starter course for GraphQL, how you can use it, how you can extend Magento there,
Hmm.
and this is the thing what is really matter, because if you are not using something like Woo Storefront where you're already having a middleware in Blade, you need to develop GraphQL and JavaScript, and this is also one thing what agency partner and developer should know about the future. It's not like the backend developer develop a layout and this is already visible. You develop something what is gettable or reachable over HTTP,
Hmm.
but the customer doesn't see anything about
Hmm.
GraphQL.
Hmm.
So you need to know about how I can ship this feature in my e-commerce application, like supporting different API versions or having different versions of GraphQL,
Hmm.
how I should develop this.
Hmm.
It's a complete different approach. But if we're gonna go too deep into it, it's like we extending this talk to over a half hour or something like that.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Well, I hope you keep doing the videos and maybe the live coding. And like you said, if you know if you sometimes the best way to learn something is by teaching it. I think is what you were saying. So, you know, if in the process of doing the videos you're learning them better, and then you're having some benefit from it, and then you know some people are also learning from it as well, then I think it's probably worth it. um, but uh but yeah, man, it was fun to chat with you, and I love everything that you're building, and I hope you continue to do it.